Okay, thank you. So we'll light our chalice and then we will do our statement of who we are. So to light our chalice, I have a lovely quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is famously known for saying, "We are stardust. We're all connected." So this morning, we are part of this universe. We are in this universe. But perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us. We'll light the chalice.
Beautiful. And there,
My minifigure does hanging out of the house.
So at this point, we also like to have our statement of who we are so that we can all join. So usually one of us, I'll say it once, and then we all say it together. We are the Unitarian Universalist congregation of the Upper Valley. We have open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. So now I'm going to invite everybody to say it with us. We are the Unitarian Universalist congregation of the Upper Valley. We have open minds, loving hearts, helping hands. Thank you.
and welcome this morning when we're evolving what we're doing with our religious exploration, which is for those who are absolutely those who are young in body, but also those we're speaking to those who are young in mind with our language and our presentation. This is our primary outreach, but we are so welcoming in all who are young in heart and are showing up, as teacher Jenny just said, open mind, clear mind, open heart. And what we're really going to focus on today is that the helping hands. We're linking this with our theme, dark time of year. Welcome, and please feel free to mute. That we are, and please feel free to turn off your video. Thank you. That we are focusing this month on the theme of healing. As we're in this time of darkness, many of us are feeling today on the 6th, 7th, whatever it is, November, that there is more light coming in. And our theme this Sunday is also on the breath. So what I am choosing to come in and be a guest and to share with our circle here this morning is what is going to be hands-on healing that most people most familiarly know as Reiki. That is so universally accepted that hospitals offer it. You see it in cancer centers, you see it in hospices, you see it in basically, I don't know if we're at insurance covering it. I don't want to, I will show you the most basic Reiki symbol, but, and I will simply say to honor that this is something that is coming from a Japanese man, Usui, who very much so had a huge focus on the fact this is universal energy that you're bringing in. You can basically just say it's universal in the sense of this is pure, if you want to see it as pure light, and remember the fact that pure light, which we might see as white, in fact holds every color of the spectrum, everything. And with this healing, as you are calling it in, you are you are a channel. You are completely surrendering this to the higher universal healing No directed, let the pain in the shoulder go away. Let the rapid heart go away. Let the ulcers from the worry go away. Let the, I can't sleep, I'm consumed by anger. You're no direction whatsoever. Complete surrender to universal light, knowing exactly where it is to go. Today, we're going to cover the most basic power symbol, Shokure. But before we get to that, to say that Usui himself brought in this and other symbols, and many other healing traditions have brought in yet more symbols. I've trained in standard Usui, in Tibetan, and in Karuna Reiki. So welcome, new person, inviting you to mute and to turn off your video as we are recording and will be publishing. Welcome. Simply to say that this is, whilst we're going to speak in this context of the Japanese one, I am going to offer anyone in this group who is interested in afterwards doing an actual online initiation, a proper here is your Shokure symbol into you that we can find another time and do if you care to go more deeply into this. Here's my huge takeaway message. We all have healing hands. That the energy centers that we know about, like crown, third eye, heart center, hara center, those are like the three primary ones that people know about: hara, heart, head. That can come as a part of any tradition. We all have bodies. We all have hands. We also have a very strong healing center right here, running down from our middle finger, which is our heart sac finger, by Chinese medicine and understanding of Chinese healing. Right here, in the center of your palm, and in the bottom of your foot. Actually, I have special shoes that don't have any plastic here that are honoring that here is where the connection to the earth is, that we have another energy system here. And this is where we can breathe up energy through our feet. We can connect with energy from above. And all of this, if we're doing Qigong, we can be breathing in earth energy from our hands, pulling it up and breathing it in to our palms. But a really big deal for today is the understanding of how we can give with our hands. And to start with, we are doing that with our out breath. And this is where you ultimately don't need the initiation. You don't need the Reiki master to come and draw beautiful Tibetan fire serpents on your backbone and have master symbols on your crowns and have lovely gongs and have me breathing in. I can tell you it is beautiful. It is deeply meaningful. And for those who feel called to go a little bit further on the path, please type in on the chat that you are interested, and we'll find the time. There is a way to do this distance, but in the meanwhile, no, we are all born with healing hands. And those who do not have hands, there are so many other ways, one of which is the breath, is to, And as we breathe out, what we breathe out, that is going to the Fukushima waters still there in Japan. That is going to the starving people in Africa. That is going, I mean, you can choose whatever you want. It's going to go there. Probably, and I would recommend for us to start with, have your own healing hands on yourself, starting with healing yourself. Here's the deal. We're already whole. We are already whole. That we have our wounds. I've seen many a winter, more than 6 decades of them. It is a process, but know you are whole. So you are going to just show up remembering you are whole, you are connected below and above. And I am going to invite us to think. I would love to be able to share screen. I'm not even going to go there with the technique. I'm going to hold this up for you and see if this is working. We've got the bottom there is the old-fashioned text that is what was written by a primary disciple, you can say. And the above is the modern version that probably many more of us relate to. Very shortly, we're going to go into some hand exercises. But before we do that, I'm going to recite, and I'm going to say that ultimately, and this is where Reiki masters differ. There are those who say you can be writing your to-do list. You can be figuring out what you're going to write on your essay that's due 5 minutes after you're done. You can be this. I encourage you to do. We'll get to that, where like all the applications. First thing in the morning when you wake up, last thing at night when you're laying in bed. There are so many hand positions that are so helpful. And ultimately, if you don't have the beautiful meditative centeredness, consciousness, all of this, show up how you are. When that is said, and I really encourage some of our new people here, please send us your emails. We will not spam you, but there is some written stuff I would like to send out, and also to hear if anyone is interested in moving on to a proper initiation ceremony, that we simply find another time than this 9 a.m. proper religious exploration, multi-gen. Welcome all of you who are young at heart, even as I'm speaking to our beloved regular young people of our beloved community. This is, I hope, happiness to many. So, mental attitude, heart, mind, what the Chinese would say. Heart, all of those feelings; mind, all of those thoughts. How are we thinking? And if we start now, believer in. You probably don't conveniently have a singing bowl or a chime or a rattle or a drum. 3 breaths. And there is also an interesting hand gesture of cross, 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 starting left to right, right to left, ending left to right. That is just beautifully integrating the divine masculine, divine feminine, and ending, interestingly enough, with I would say the sense of leaving it over to the Tao, the void, the universe, the all that is, the cosmic consciousness, God, if you will, that we've got all of that. We've got our parts down here, our left and our right sides, and we have the above. That is a way of calling in left to right, right to left, left to right, and then hand simply however much you want to extend. And if you're in a place where you can't do it, visualize it. That's just a way to, and breathe. To bring you in to a healing space. And I would say to be heart-centered, however you like. If you want your palm centered here, I personally am a big fan of thumbs pressing into what is the sea of tranquility point right there in between your breasts. And sort of, we've got an interesting triangle going there, fingers up there, and then to say our invocation. And this is, you could say, your healer's oath. Just for today, be free and happy. Just for today, have joy. Breathe it in, and as you breathe out, see where that joy can go in your body. It will go where it's needed. Just for today, you are taken care of. And ha on the out breath is the heart sound. Live consciously in the moment. See if your shoulders are relaxing, your exhales a little longer. Count your blessings with gratitude. Honor your parents, teachers, and elders. And we are counting elders as all those who have seen 21 winters or experienced, lived through if they don't see. Earn your living, live honestly. And you young ones who are not working, after a fashion, you too, like all of us, after a fashion, are earning our living. Love your neighbor as yourself. And stretch your hands out now to the side. Show gratitude to all living things. Acknowledging the deep privilege that it is to be a healing channel. This is not you doing this. This is universal healing energy that you are saying, I am willing to show up as a channel. There is the sense of our body being like a channel from our head down to between our legs, and from there, that central channel, like we've got our hands out there, our feet out there, but it's very much so from our head and actually from below our torso, where we are connected to the earth. Here's where we're channeling, and what we are going to concentrate on is how from the heart lung center, that we can, to start with, have the sense of it streaming out through our hands. So it's coming from both directions. This is not like higher, lower. What is higher? What is lower? It's all beautiful healing energy, which in its purity and our intent, our aspiration to have this heal, that's what counts. It's coming down to our heart. On the in breath, and then on the out breath, it's going out through our palms. So now, here's where we finally get to the fun interactive part. Technically, you do this instantly, zing, zing, zing. You can use the symbol. You can just have the sense of, I want to turn on the flow. It's in the nature, it's in the earth, it's in the sky. Or you can have the symbol. And here's the question. Do we want to get in the symbol? No, let's start doing something first, where we're getting some breath going. Your healing hands. I think all of us are blessed to have been born with two. Deep gratitude that we're not Thalamide babies and that we still have them. Deep gratitude for whole bodies. As you spread them open, like start with this. Just from whatever direction. Maybe some movement, some sense of I'm pulling in energy, I'm sending out. And as you're sending out through your center there, like, wow, you know what? It doesn't matter if you feel nothing now. I have people who I started, like, I don't even like going there with Reiki master, invigorating, leading in ceremony people, but for over 20 years, who after all that time still say, you know what, I feel nothing. That's okay. I have people who say, wow, like as soon as I move my hands out in the nature, this starts tingling. Thank you for explaining. This is an energy center. It doesn't matter if you feel anything. You can visualize, you can just deeply know, you can mentally intend. So, going there now and having the idea that, like, what if there are energy centers there? So, now for a moment, I'm inviting you to put your hands in front of your heart. I'm inviting you to see if you can feel the connection between the two. We can start with our hands pressed together. A moment there where we're going to go in and just have that wonderfully curious, gosh, I wonder how my energy centers work. I wonder if I'm one of those physical sensing people That's not better than the others. It's one way of being. Take a moment, just press your palms together. Oh, I can physically sense. Yep, those, got it. Those palms are there, definitely. Don't know if I feel those more than the fingertips. Here's the fun thing. We've got energy centers in our fingertips too. And that's why pointing is an interesting thing. Back to the main plot. Now, start with ever so slowly separating your palms. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, sense both of these hands streaming out universal energy. Reiki energy. We can warm up to the idea of the name. We'll introduce first the sound, Shoku Rei. And as you breathe out, say out loud, Shoku Rei. Shoku Rei. We usually do this 3 times. Shoku Rei. Shoku Rei. And now, try drawing your hands a little bit further apart. Maybe wiggle your fingertips, breathing in and out. Breathing in, going a little bit further. And what I'd like you to bring your awareness to is if there is any sense of warmth, tingling, and sometimes we could even play with the idea of, okay, there's a connection. It's like there's this rainbow, this rubber band rainbow. How far can I stretch it? Getting it firmly connected as the hands come back together. And now bringing them apart. Oh, I've still got it. And okay, lost it there. Fine. Stay here. Stay here. Nobody is going to walk into a gym and say, wow, I'm just going to grab the bar and pump out 100, what do you call them, pull-ups. So, or let's say that this is like our push-ups, just ever so slightly. Got that body a little bit off the ground and bringing it back. Do this to train yourself. Do this to open your healing hand, heart energy. That meridian runs down, actually it runs down here, very beautiful point here, calming point, right here to here and to here. If you've got your eyes open now, this is why the heart mudra is thumb to middle finger. So we want to exercise our healing hands. This is also deeply calming. Already now, if you have opened with Shoku Rei or simply an open intent, I am willing to access healing energy. I'm doing it already now, and it's in my heart field. welcome, new person. If you'd like, go ahead and turn off your video. We're recording. This will be published later. So back to feeling that Shokure power symbol, knowing first and foremost, you don't need anything more than my healing hands. Breathing in that energy, and as you breathe out, right now you are giving this to your heart field. You can add the word. Most people very easily remember the invocation, Shokure, Shokure, Shokure. And when we're done with this piece, we will go on to looking at the symbol. But for right now, just having that sense, my healing hands, what can I do with them? I can exercise them. I can connect with my heart. I can be willing to heal my own heart, to hold, to fill my heart with energy. Breathe in now, clasp, like I personally like here. There are those who love praying hands. You might want to, some people, again, play with this for yourself to have the sense of what works best for me. Nothing is better or worse. It's different from time to time. It's what works. If you're in a situation where it might feel a little bit interesting to do this hand gesture, visualize doing it. Either pressing your healing hands, having them rest lightly, or continuing to work. We've got a little bit of distance there, which also really keeps that energy flowing. Here's the fun thing. Sometimes from a distance, it's even greater. Honoring that, you know what? The physicality of space, it's a construct of our mind. Just honoring our hearts. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, feel it streaming into your loving, compassionate heart. And we're going to work with 2 other centers as well. If you go into traditional Reiki, they'll be working a lot with, oh, let's do something with your liver and with your pancreas, and let's do something with your kidneys. And I'm going to have us work with positions that, above all, I would encourage you to do yourself when you're laying down, last thing in the evening, perhaps having gratitude for your day, above all, letting go, letting go, letting go. And in the morning, again, gratitude and aspiring. And I would say we have our 3 centers. We have down here, hands right below your belly. This is our most foundational center. This is where we just have our being secure, being accepted. This is where we can have fear. And this is where we can have our deep connection and just feeling grounded and solid. This is where when we need that, we go here. So either resting your hands, and this is on your belly here. Either some find firm pressure works, and even to start with, I'm really pressing this energy in, that's fine. Or out here, feeling it stream in. Three breaths there. Coming up to our heart. Three breaths there. And now up to our center here, our third eye center, which some people like to feel connected with their crown, just as our further down center is even connected with that place between our legs. Hands here. Three breaths. As you breathe in, you're breathing in that energy. And as you breathe out, it's streaming into your center. And it's going exactly where it needs to go to fill your body. Some people might feel that, lovely. Some people don't feel that. From a Zen Buddhist point of view, no mind, I would say, don't have sensation, don't have thought, don't think, surrender. Both are beautiful. And in closing for this actual knowing the meditation, there's just play with letting your hands rest on different centers. Like I'm going to connect my gut with my head. I'm going to know that there's universal energy flowing into that hand and into this hand. Oh, how beautiful. Who knows? Maybe my head needs to inform my gut of a few things. Who knows? I leave all of that over to the universal healing Reiki energy. Maybe it's my heart that needs to be connected to my head. Maybe, and this is my personal favorite because I can fall asleep like this with one hand resting on my belly, the other, more or less, if my elbow needs to sink, I can just get those old fingers to point in that direction, right? It's like, let's go to sleep like this. Just having that sense. For most of us, when we need to sleep, anxious, fearful, worried, angry, like you name it, mad, sad, overly glad, overly ecstatic, drop down. Most of us need to get out of our heads and into our bellies when we're resting at night, before an exam, before a challenging situation, when all of that's happened and emotions are high. There's limitless applications, and the clock is running. And what I decided to save for last is the actual symbol. Here is where I would like to say, you know what, people? This symbol Usei brought in to help people understand better, to help all of us who have a hard time resting in, like, surrender of it's happened. For those who, it's why I love Qigong moving. It's like it helps us do something. So here we're bringing in We're bringing in from above, like maybe you can see there's a stick figure there, bringing in, dropping down through our body. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to do this backwards. And then basically it's these down here that you're going from above down, and then you're sweeping from here's this center, this root center where we're rooted to the earth, and it goes sweeping up to your crown, and then it's circling down to your hara, that we can call it our belly, right below our belly button. From here, it's sweeping up to your third eye. And then from there, it's sweeping down to your solar plexus. That one sorts pretty muchly with your heart. And then from solar plexus, sweeping up to your throat. These, we're bringing in some of these so-called, what I, from the Chinese point of view, would call minor energy centers. And then from there, guess where it ends? So, and this is, as said, anyone who's interested, let me know. And we could happily have a deepening, whether we choose to do that next Sunday or whether we choose to do that on another time, where we perhaps could go more long, more time, more meditatively into it, and even have, for those who would, an initiation. But to know, and I can send more information, more pictures. The words are Shokure, and the symbol is, and let's see if we can pull this off before we go back to teacher Jenny for the closing. Me and the distance, coming in from above, dropping down, circling third eye. And this is just to help you imagine down here, coming here, and then ending here. This is getting very crash course here, to be continued. This is what, if you choose to go deeper, and here's a lovely thing that we very often do, is this like rubbing our hands together also. That's a way of gathering chi. But before you start, if you on yourself or others are wanting to go more into the hands-on healing piece, you can, as you learn this symbol, draw the symbol and then close with tapping your center here. So hopefully that was something that is getting us started on understanding we have healing hands. Go forth, and to start with, breathe in, calling in the universal energy. And as you breathe out with your intent, with your breath, with your streaming out through your hands, with your radiating with your whole being. I know people who have dedicated their lives to just simply radiating. Okay, are we going to ground? Here's the thing. If you're doing this, a way to end, to have the sense of I'm done, and we're not going to talk about working on other people yet, that for yourself, to have, there's different rituals. We had this one for how to start, and that to end with, simply take your healing hands, sweep up over your head, and then bring your hands down to your sides. Have the sense of releasing in to the earth. Feel that in your feet. And then thanks for healing given, knowing it is perfect. And now over to teacher Jenny to close us.
Wow. Thanks, Laura. That was great. So I've put a message in our chat saying that if you'd like to delve deeper into this topic today, please send DRE Laura a message saying interested. She's on email. And also, if you don't know how to do that, if you go down to where it says 2 at the bottom of the chat box and you click on that little down arrow, you will see an option for DRE Laura private message. So it's good there. We also will work to make sure that our chat is not on our YouTube video when it goes out there, because I know people have shared emails and things like that. So thank you. I thought this was very fun. Thank you. So I drew the little picture, but I can say that for one, I would really welcome those pictures. So maybe if you would send those, Laura, that would be wonderful. I have the group of people that I sent information out to today. I can send that to folks as they'd like. All right. Wow. I'm going to invite people to turn their video on and their